Some royal stories begin with public scandal, dramatic interviews, or palace statements that dominate headlines for weeks. But according to growing royal speculation, the most consequential shift inside the monarchy may have started in complete silence, behind closed doors where Prince William, the future king, reportedly raised one deeply uncomfortable question about Princess Charlotte that could quietly reshape the future of the royal family forever. For years, royal watchers believed the structure surrounding Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis had already been decided long before the children were old enough to understand the institution they were born into. Yet recent commentary surrounding Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, has created a very different atmosphere, one that feels less certain, less automatic, and far more emotionally complicated than previous generations ever allowed themselves to publicly acknowledge. According to palace observers, Prince William has increasingly become focused not only on preparing the monarchy for the future, but on protecting Princess Charlotte from the hidden pressures that once consumed younger royals inside the institution. And this is where the conversation becomes far more serious than most people initially realized. Because if Prince William truly wants to redefine how Princess Charlotte grows up inside the monarchy, then Prince William may also be quietly challenging traditions that existed long before King Charles III inherited the crown. What would you do if you were Prince William, the future king, trying to protect your daughter while also protecting the monarchy itself? Royal insiders and commentators have repeatedly suggested that Prince William's thinking has evolved dramatically over the last several years, particularly after watching how modern public pressure, social media scrutiny, and non-stop global attention now shape every aspect of royal life in ways previous generations never experienced. Unlike earlier eras where royal roles remained unquestioned, Prince William and Kate Middleton appear increasingly aware that visibility can quickly become emotional confinement, especially for younger royals born close enough to the throne to carry enormous expectations, yet far enough away to struggle defining their own independent identity. Reports suggest that Princess Charlotte's future has become one of the most sensitive private discussions inside Buckingham Palace because Prince William reportedly refuses to allow Princess Charlotte to become trapped inside undefined royal expectations the same way other royal figures historically were. And while no official confirmation exists, many royal commentators believe the urgency behind these conversations reveals something much larger happening beneath the polished surface of the royal family. Because once an heir to the throne starts questioning inherited structures, palace insiders immediately understand that the future direction of the monarchy itself may be quietly changing. What makes this situation especially fascinating is that Prince William does not appear interested in weakening the monarchy, despite what critics may suggest. In fact, many observers believe Prince William is trying to preserve the monarchy by preventing future resentment from quietly building inside the next generation. That distinction matters enormously. Prince William reportedly understands that duty without clarity can become emotional pressure, while responsibility without personal identity can eventually create instability inside families expected to symbolize stability for the entire nation. According to growing speculation, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, increasingly favor a modern structure where Princess Charlotte understands royal duty without losing the ability to build her own identity beyond ceremonial expectations. Yet this is precisely where deeper institutional tension may begin emerging behind palace walls. Because King Charles III belongs to a generation shaped by continuity, endurance, and acceptance of inherited responsibility above personal preference. Prince William, meanwhile, appears associated with a very different philosophy, one asking whether the institution itself should evolve before younger royals inherit emotional burdens that cannot easily be undone later. And perhaps the most revealing detail is not what Prince William allegedly said, but why the timing suddenly feels urgent. Royal planning has always operated decades ahead of public awareness, which means palace observers believe these conversations surrounding Princess Charlotte likely began long before recent speculation reached the media. Some insiders claim Prince William understands something previous generations learned too late, that once the public permanently assigns a royal identity to someone, reclaiming personal freedom becomes almost impossible. Every appearance becomes symbolic. Every gesture becomes analyzed. Every future becomes partially written by public expectation before adulthood even begins. That may explain why Catherine, Princess of Wales, reportedly appears deeply involved in shaping how Princess Charlotte experiences royal life moving forward. Royal commentators have long associated Kate Middleton with balancing public service alongside emotional stability and structured family life, creating an approach very different from older royal models built almost entirely around institutional duty. Does this feel like modernization to you? Or does it feel like Prince William preparing the monarchy for a completely different future generation? Yet the deeper this story goes, the more emotionally complicated it becomes, because protecting Princess Charlotte may ultimately require confronting traditions larger than Prince William himself. No matter how influential Prince William becomes as future king, King Charles III still represents continuity, legacy, and the institutional memory of the monarchy. Altering expectations surrounding Princess Charlotte could eventually force uncomfortable questions inside Buckingham Palace about succession planning, royal titles, long-term working royal roles, and the entire structure surrounding the next generation of the royal family. Some royal insiders believe Prince William sees these discussions as necessary evolution, while traditionalists reportedly worry that redefining one role eventually encourages broader challenges to long-standing royal expectations. And this is where everything becomes far more consequential than a simple parenting debate, because once conversations about Princess Charlotte evolve into conversations about reshaping the monarchy itself, silence inside palace walls suddenly starts feeling very loud. Before we go further into how King Charles III may privately view Prince William's reported plans for Princess Charlotte, and why some palace insiders believe Catherine, Princess of Wales, could become the quiet architect behind this generational shift inside the royal family, make sure to subscribe to the channel because the next part reveals why this discussion may have already triggered deeper tensions about the future direction of the monarchy that Buckingham Palace never expected the public to notice. The deeper palace insiders looked at Prince William's reported concerns surrounding Princess Charlotte. The clearer it reportedly became that this was never simply about one royal child growing up under public attention. According to royal commentators, Prince William, the future king, appears increasingly focused on something much larger, the long-term emotional survival of the monarchy itself. That idea may sound dramatic at first, but many observers believe Prince William understands a difficult reality that Buckingham Palace has struggled with for decades. Institutions survive through continuity, yet families survive through emotional stability, and balancing those two priorities has not always ended well inside the royal family. This is exactly why recent speculation surrounding Princess Charlotte has attracted such intense attention among palace insiders. Because some believe Prince William is quietly attempting to prevent the next generation from inheriting the same invisible pressures that shaped Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and even earlier royal figures long before them. What reportedly unsettled certain traditional circles inside Buckingham Palace was not the idea of protecting Princess Charlotte, but the possibility that Prince William may want to formally redefine how younger royals operate inside the monarchy moving forward. Royal historians have long pointed out that spare royals often exist inside an uncomfortable space, permanently visible yet never fully central, expected to support the institution while sacrificing large portions of personal independence in the process. Prince William grew up watching those dynamics closely, especially during the years when Prince Harry increasingly struggled with royal expectations, media pressure, and personal identity inside the institution. According to several royal commentators, Prince William may now view Princess Charlotte's future through a completely different lens because Prince William understands how unresolved pressure can quietly evolve into emotional distance from the monarchy itself. And perhaps that is why reports suggest Prince William wants Princess Charlotte to grow into royal duty gradually, intentionally, and with far clearer boundaries than previous generations were ever given. Yet this is where tension surrounding King Charles III reportedly becomes impossible to ignore. King Charles III spent an entire lifetime preparing inside a monarchy built on acceptance of inherited structure, patience, and continuity above personal flexibility. From the perspective of King Charles III, altering expectations around Princess Charlotte may risk weakening the clarity that historically kept the monarchy stable across generations. But Prince William appears increasingly associated with a more modern philosophy, one where preserving the institution may actually require adapting older structures before younger royals become emotionally trapped inside them. Royal insiders suggest this difference in perspective has created a very delicate atmosphere behind palace walls because both Prince William and King Charles III ultimately want the same thing, stability for the royal family. Yet the path toward achieving that stability may look completely different depending on which generation is shaping the future. And once those differences quietly emerge inside the monarchy, even silence can begin feeling politically significant. What makes the entire situation even more fascinating is how Catherine, Princess of Wales, reportedly fits into these private discussions. Royal commentators frequently describe Kate Middleton as the stabilizing force around Prince William, particularly when conversations involve balancing royal duty with family identity. Many observers believe Catherine, Princess of Wales, understands more clearly than most senior royals how intense public attention can gradually consume personal space, especially for children growing up inside global fascination. According to speculation surrounding palace dynamics, Kate Middleton reportedly supports creating a future where Princess Charlotte remains connected to royal service without becoming completely defined by royal expectations before adulthood fully begins. But can the monarchy truly modernize without creating resistance from traditional royal structures that survived for centuries precisely because they resisted rapid emotional change? That question may now sit quietly at the center of Buckingham Palace itself. And in the next part, the story becomes even more complicated because growing speculation suggests Prince William's reported plans surrounding Princess Charlotte may already be influencing broader conversations about the future size of the monarchy, future working royal roles, and whether Buckingham Palace is preparing for a dramatically different royal family structure than the public currently realizes. By the time palace observers began connecting Prince William's reported concerns about Princess Charlotte to broader discussions surrounding the future of the monarchy, the atmosphere inside royal commentary changed completely. What initially sounded like careful parenting suddenly started resembling something far more strategic, a quiet restructuring of how the next generation of royals may eventually function inside Buckingham Palace. According to several royal insiders and commentators, Prince William, the future king, increasingly appears committed to building a monarchy centered around precision rather than expansion, meaning fewer undefined roles, clearer expectations, and far tighter control over how younger royals experience public life. And this is where Princess Charlotte reportedly became symbolic of a much larger transformation already unfolding behind palace walls. For decades, the royal family operated with an assumption that visibility itself strengthened the monarchy. More working royals meant more representation, more engagements, more continuity across Britain and the Commonwealth. Yet modern royal life has created a very different reality. Public scrutiny now follows every movement endlessly. Social media amplifies criticism within minutes, and younger royals grow up inside an environment where personal identity can become consumed by global expectation before adulthood even begins. According to palace commentators, Prince William reportedly believes the monarchy cannot survive future generations emotionally exhausted by undefined obligations and non-stop visibility. That perspective may explain why speculation surrounding Princess Charlotte feels so unusually sensitive, because insiders increasingly believe Prince William does not want Princess Charlotte inheriting a role shaped primarily by tradition without first understanding who Princess Charlotte wants to become beyond royal symbolism. But once those ideas begin influencing institutional planning, traditional royal structures naturally become uncomfortable. What reportedly intensified concern among some palace traditionalists was growing speculation that Prince William's thinking may extend beyond Princess Charlotte alone. Royal commentators have increasingly linked these conversations to long-standing discussions surrounding a slimmed-down monarchy, an idea associated with King Charles III for years but potentially interpreted very differently by Prince William. King Charles III reportedly viewed a smaller monarchy as an institutional necessity designed to preserve public support and financial clarity, while Prince William appears more focused on emotional sustainability for the next generation of the royal family itself. That difference matters enormously because one philosophy centers on efficiency, while the other centers on protecting identity inside royal life. According to observers, this may explain why conversations surrounding Princess Charlotte have quietly evolved into conversations about the future emotional structure of the monarchy. And once emotional well-being becomes part of institutional planning, royal tradition enters territory it historically preferred to avoid. At the same time, speculation surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continues influencing how palace insiders interpret Prince William's approach. While no senior royal publicly frames these discussions around the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, many commentators believe Prince William cannot ignore how rapidly unresolved pressure, media scrutiny, and institutional frustration eventually contributed to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle separating themselves from royal life entirely. Some insiders claim Prince William views the period not only as a family crisis, but also as a warning about what happens when personal identity and institutional expectation completely collide. Could Princess Charlotte eventually face similar pressures if the monarchy refuses to adapt early enough? That question reportedly sits quietly beneath much of the current speculation. And for many royal watchers, the possibility that Prince William is already trying to prevent future emotional fractures inside the royal family makes this entire story feel far more personal than political. Yet perhaps the most revealing detail is how carefully Buckingham Palace continues avoiding direct acknowledgement of any of these discussions. No public statements. No official clarification. No visible confirmation that Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are rethinking Princess Charlotte's future role inside the monarchy. But royal observers understand something important about silence inside royal institutions. Silence rarely means nothing is happening. In many cases, Silence simply means conversations are too significant to address publicly before internal agreement fully exists. And according to several palace commentators, that may be exactly where the monarchy currently finds itself, suspended between old expectations, and a future Prince William may already be quietly preparing to introduce long before the public fully realizes what is changing behind the scenes. But in the next section, the conversation surrounding Princess Charlotte becomes even more emotionally charged because growing speculation suggests Prince William may no longer be thinking only about protecting one royal child, but about reshaping how the monarchy itself defines duty, sacrifice, and identity for an entirely new generation of royals. What reportedly began as Prince William's private concern for Princess Charlotte has now evolved into something royal observers describe as far more consequential: a growing debate over whether the monarchy can continue asking younger royals to sacrifice personal identity in the same way previous generations once did. According to palace commentators, Prince William, the future king, increasingly appears determined to avoid repeating patterns that quietly damaged relationships inside the royal family for decades. And this is where the conversation becomes emotionally complicated for Buckingham Palace, because protecting Princess Charlotte may ultimately require Prince William to challenge expectations deeply woven into royal history itself. Royal historians frequently point out that monarchy survives through continuity, symbolism, and discipline. Yet the modern world has changed faster than many royal traditions were ever designed to handle. Prince William reportedly understands that younger royals no longer grow up under limited national attention. Instead, Princess Charlotte, Prince George, and Prince Louis are growing up inside non-stop global visibility where every expression, every appearance, and every future decision instantly becomes worldwide conversation. According to several royal insiders, Prince William believes the monarchy cannot continue expecting emotional endurance without also providing emotional protection, particularly for younger royals who never personally chose the public roles waiting ahead of them. That perspective reportedly explains why Princess Charlotte's future has become such a sensitive issue behind palace walls, because Prince William allegedly sees clarity, boundaries, and personal development not as threats to the monarchy, but as essential tools for preserving long-term loyalty to it. But can a centuries-old institution truly evolve emotionally without weakening the authority that once made it untouchable? The situation reportedly becomes even more delicate when discussions surrounding Catherine, Princess of Wales, enter the picture. Royal commentators have long suggested that Kate Middleton quietly transformed how senior royals approach parenting, family visibility, and emotional balance inside public life. Unlike previous royal eras built almost entirely around ceremonial expectation, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, consistently appear focused on creating stability around their children before fully immersing Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis into permanent institutional pressure. According to palace speculation, Catherine, Princess of Wales, reportedly believes younger royals should experience enough normalcy to develop confidence outside public approval alone. That philosophy may sound simple to outsiders, yet inside Buckingham Palace it potentially represents a major generational shift. Because once identity becomes prioritized alongside duty, the monarchy begins moving away from older assumptions where royal purpose automatically outweighed personal freedom. And according to some insiders, that quiet philosophical change may already be reshaping how Prince William plans to lead the royal family once King Charles III's reign eventually transitions into the next era. At the same time, many royal commentators believe Prince Harry and Meghan Markle remain an unspoken influence over these private conversations, even if palace officials would never publicly acknowledge it. Prince William reportedly witnessed firsthand how unresolved pressure, media conflict, and emotional isolation gradually transformed Prince Harry's relationship with both Buckingham Palace and the institution itself. Some observers suggest Prince William now views Princess Charlotte's future through the lens of prevention rather than repair, meaning Prince William allegedly wants to create healthier expectations before emotional damage quietly develops beneath public appearances. That possibility makes the story surrounding Princess Charlotte feel far larger than royal scheduling or future ceremonial duties. According to palace watchers, this may actually be the monarchy confronting one of the most uncomfortable questions in its modern history. Can the royal family preserve continuity while also allowing younger royals enough individuality to remain emotionally connected to the institution they are expected to serve? Yet perhaps the most fascinating aspect of all this speculation is that Princess Charlotte herself remains completely untouched by most of the debates already surrounding her future. Public fascination continues growing with every royal appearance, every confident gesture, every comparison to Queen Elizabeth II or Princess Anne, but royal observers increasingly warn that projecting permanent expectations onto Princess Charlotte too early may become exactly the pressure Prince William reportedly hopes to avoid. And this is where the emotional weight of the entire story becomes impossible to ignore, because while Buckingham Palace debates continuity, modernization, and institutional stability, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, may simply be trying to protect something far more human. The ability for Princess Charlotte to become her own person before the monarchy decides who Princess Charlotte is expected to become forever. But in the final section, the story reaches its most revealing point because growing speculation suggests Prince William's reported plans surrounding Princess Charlotte may ultimately force Buckingham Palace to confront the single question royal institutions fear most: whether protecting the future of the monarchy now requires changing parts of the monarchy itself before the next generation inherits pressures that can never fully be undone. And in the end, the most important question surrounding Princess Charlotte may have nothing to do with royal titles, succession planning, or even the future structure of Buckingham Palace itself. According to growing royal speculation, the deeper issue quietly emerging behind these discussions is whether the monarchy finally understands that preserving the institution and protecting the people inside it may no longer be separate goals. For generations, royal life operated on the assumption that duty came first and personal identity adapted afterward. Yet Prince William, the future king, increasingly appears associated with a dramatically different philosophy, one suggesting the monarchy may only survive long-term if younger royals are allowed to develop strong personal foundations before institutional expectations permanently define them. And if that interpretation is even partially accurate, then Princess Charlotte may represent far more than a beloved young royal growing up inside public fascination. Princess Charlotte may quietly become the test case for what the next era of the royal family ultimately chooses to value most. According to palace observers, this is precisely why speculation surrounding Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, has intensified so dramatically in recent months. Royal commentators increasingly believe Prince William no longer sees modernization as optional public relations strategy, but as emotional necessity for the survival of the monarchy itself. Prince William reportedly understands something previous generations rarely acknowledged openly: that royal pressure does not disappear simply because public appearances remain polished. Behind ceremonial smiles, historic traditions, and carefully controlled public messaging, younger royals still carry enormous emotional expectations long before adulthood fully arrives. And many insiders believe Prince William's experiences watching Prince Harry struggle publicly with identity, media scrutiny, and institutional conflict permanently changed how Prince William thinks about Princess Charlotte, Prince George, and Prince Louis growing up inside royal life. Could Buckingham Palace have avoided years of royal division if emotional well-being had been prioritized earlier inside the institution? That question now appears impossible for many royal watchers to ignore. At the same time, King Charles III reportedly remains deeply aware that monarchy survives through continuity, discipline, and carefully preserved structure. From the perspective of King Charles III, altering royal expectations too aggressively could risk weakening the stability that carried the monarchy across generations of crisis, scandal, and public transformation. Yet Prince William appears increasingly convinced that refusing to adapt may eventually create even greater instability later. This is where the emotional divide reportedly becomes most fascinating, because neither Prince William nor King Charles III appears motivated by rebellion against the monarchy itself. Instead, palace commentators suggest both men are ultimately trying to protect the institution, but through completely different philosophies shaped by completely different life experiences. King Charles III belongs to a generation taught that individuals protect the crown through sacrifice. Prince William increasingly appears connected to the belief that the crown must also protect the individuals expected to carry it forward. And somewhere between those two visions stands Princess Charlotte, still young, still growing, yet already surrounded by enormous expectations she never personally chose. Perhaps that is why this story